Hello friends, starting soon an unmissable live coverage here on Sailor Today TV. You are watching Sailor Today TV, your unmissable dose of vitamin C.
Easy attending, that's what I'm.
Hello friends, starting soon an unmissable live coverage here on Sailor Today TV. Hello friends, starting soon an unmissable live coverage here on Sailor Today TV.
for the CMMI monthly lecture on IMO HTW Committee Update by our very own Captain C.L. Dubey. I would request all who are online to please mute their mic to avoid any disturbances. Now I will request Captain Napade to come forward and introduce Captain Dubey and take the session forward. Come in, sir.
Good evening. I'm very happy to know that CMMI is continuing with this excellent activity of monthly lectures. And I'm happy to also note that we have further progressed on technological front by arranging Zoom meetings, and that enables all our fraternity of master mariners to participate in such meetings. And I must compliment CMMI for this activity that is maintained with such sense of enthusiasm. They gave me the pleasant job of introducing my old friend Captain Dubey, Captain Chotelal Dubey. I had a personal long interaction with Captain Dubey. I think he is a pass out of Rajendra. He is a pass out of Rajendra from 1972-74 batch, and he has had a very smooth sea career. And he came ashore much to help the upcoming generations of seafarers. He initially joined the Nautical College, and I happened to be in the directorate at that time. And I've had a long interaction with Captain Dubey in many activities in which DG Shipping and I was involved. And much to my satisfaction, Captain Dubey has always been very sincere, a good professional. His input has been very valuable in whatever responsibilities that I was handling. And I understand he has authored several books. I have been somewhat away from the academic world of shipping or the administrative world of shipping, but I've been very closely involved with the waterfront of shipping, you see. So that helps me keep in touch with all of you and all the master mariners. And I'm sure that Captain Dubey's recent experience of visiting IMO as a representative of CMMI, which is again a very good step that the CMMI has taken. And perhaps Captain Dubey must be the first person to represent IMO, to represent CMMI at IMO. I don't know if any other master mariner has represented CMMI at IMO. So if he is the first one, my special congratulations to him for representing our fraternity, of which all of us are, I assume, very proud. And I assume we are very interested in upholding all the excellent traditions that we have inherited from our earlier generation of seafarers. I wish Captain Dubey a very bright career ahead in this noble task of imparting education and involved in human resource development. And now I would like to introduce Captain Dubey to address us. Thank you very much.
This introduction.
Yeah. Shall I read it out?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Sorry. Captain, here is the details of Captain Dubey. He is a science graduate, extra master, and a maritime trainer. After doing his pre-C from T.S. Rajendra, 72-74, he worked in SCI, Union, and Den Homes. He has been a maritime trainer since 1992 for 31 years in LBS Nautical College and MMTI. He has written several nautical books on chart work, advanced stability, celestial navigation, maritime legislation, etc. He is the principal and owner of MMTI. All the best, Captain Dubey.
You started the session.
Good evening, gentlemen. First of all, I thank CMMI for giving me this opportunity to be a part of Indian delegation to IMO, which was from 5th of February till 10th of February. The session started on 6th, though we went there on 5th. So from 6th to 10th February 2023, that was the session. It was a very good experience because it was my first time when I'd been to IMO. A lot of knowledge about procedures, system, how the proceedings happen, what kind of groups are made, and how the drafting group works. All these things were very interesting to see. So now we start my presentation. I must make it very clear that this is on my personal observation. I don't stand here on behalf of Government of India, because the delegation was Indian delegation. The team leader was the DD training. So I don't represent the team leader. I am only on my behalf, on the personal front, whatever I have to talk, whatever I have to say. That is what is presented here. So this is the report of 9th session of IMO subcommittee on human element, training and watchkeeping. STW9, H is the human element, T is the training, and W is the watchkeeping. So there is a move to revise the STCW. And this subcommittee of STW is in that direction. There was STW 8, now it was 9. Next year in February, there will be STW 10. So every year, the meetings are being conducted so that slowly and slowly things are finalized and we have revised STCW by about 2025, 2026. So that is what is the aim on which the IMO is working. This is the hello. This is the photograph taken in the plenary in the hall of IMO. As I told you, from 6th of December to 10th of December, 6th of February to 10th of February 2023. There's myself, Captain Manish Kumar. He's the nautical surveyor in DG Shipping. Dr. Pandurang Raut. He is the DDG training in DG Shipping. Mr. Senthil Kumar, engineer and ship surveyor, again in DG Shipping. Mr. Rajiv Nair, he was sponsored by Institute of Marine Engineers. And Captain Debu, he was sponsored by MASA. So these are the 6 members of the Indian delegation who were physically present in IMO. Likewise, all other countries sent their delegation, and they all were accommodated in the big plenary where 500 people could be accommodated. All the agenda points were discussed one by one. They were based on certain papers presented by a particular country. So first the country had to brief what papers they presented. And then there was discussion and comment on that. And then final outcome was decided by the chair. That's how it worked. And then as per the requirement, there was a working group formed, there was a drafting group formed. They had to work on a first floor, second floor, on various other floors of IMO building. The plenary was on the ground floor. So this is a photograph of the people who were present there. The meeting was in hybrid mode because of COVID situation earlier. The meetings were not held physically. They were being held online. STW8 was fully online. But since the situation was improved, so this was on a hybrid mode. Some members went there physically, but some could attend it online, sitting in their own country. So this is a concise list of all the members of Indian delegation. The six one I just told you in the photograph, they were physically present there. And 4 more who attended online from India. Captain M.C. Yadav, Fasma, Captain Sio Halve Masa, Captain Philip Matthews Insa, and Captain Vinod Naveen IMU. So they are representing the delegation from India. They are attending the meetings, giving their feedback, and those are the people who are present physically in IMO. Just a brief introduction of it. First STW came in 1978 for the first time. We called it STCW 78. The second STCW amendment was revision in 78 and we called it STCW 95. Third one was called Manila Amendment in 2010. And the fourth one is the one which is under preparation, under revision now, for which we went. So as you can see, there was a gap of about 15 years, roughly. 95 to 2010. And earlier to that also, by the time it came and the other one revision came, is almost 15 years. So this one also should be there in place by 2025 or 2026. So STW meeting was one step in that direction. Many things were achieved in the meeting, rather they were finalized. But certain things are still going on. There is a correspondence group made who can have meetings online so that the progress continues. And from 5th of Feb 2024 to 9th of February 2024, next STW 10 will be held, where the whole progress will be again reviewed. Certain things will be finalized and certain things will be left for further discussion and finalization for the next meeting. This was the arrangement for HTW9 from our delegation. Plenary is the hall where all the meetings were held. So that is Dr. Raut, DDG and myself were in the plenary all the time. WG1 is working group 1. That is comprehensive review of the 1995 STCWF convention. F is a fishing vessel. So there is a move and it's already in the final stage to work out STCWF, which was not there present earlier. We only know STCW convention, but for fishing vessel, nothing was there. So that is STCWF, and that was Mr. Senthil Kumar and Captain Vinod Navi. So these two people are marked for that. This timetable was made by DG Shipping Office to be followed in IMO. Working Group 2, that is comprehensive review of the 78 Convention and Code. That was Captain Manish Kumar, Mr. Rajiv Nair, and Captain Philip Matthews. So these three people were marked for that. Captain Rajiv Nair and Captain Manish Kumar were present there, and Captain Philip Matthews was attending from India. Then the fourth one, Working Group 3, that is implementation of the STCW Convention. How is to be implemented? What are the procedures? What are the principles to be followed? How the objectives to be met? So that is the Working Group 3, and that is Mr. Senthil Kumar and Captain S.M. Halbe. Captain Senthil Kumar was there, present, and Captain Halbe was from here, attending from here. And there's a drafting group on model courses, IMO model courses. So that was attended by Captain Debu and Captain Mahesh Yadav online from here. So this was the timetable made, which was followed in IMO by different members of Indian delegation. The IMO gave the timetable, what timetable they have to follow as per their agenda. Monday, 6th February was opening of the session, and there number 1 to 8 and 7, that's agenda points. These are agenda points that were taken on the first day. Adoption of the agenda, decisions of other IMO bodies like MSC, then legal committee and all that. Comprehensive review of the STCWF and comprehensive review of the STCW. These 4 items were taken up the first day, and the working group was made for STCWF and STCW comprehensive review by working group 2 and working group 1. On Tuesday, 7th of February, implementation of STCW convention, how it is to be implemented, how it is to be stepped in the direction, what progress should be made, how it is to be made, all that has been defined. Validated model training courses, that's DG's drafting group. Now in this connection, I want to tell you that one gentleman, Captain Mohala, Vinayak Mohala, he is working with the Anglo-Eastern in Delhi. And he was representing Global Met. Is a international body of maritime education and training. Global MET, Maritime Education and Training. So he was made chairman in the last meeting, and he continued this time also for drafting the IMO model courses. The 10 courses were finalized and they're out of the way. Some new courses, some revisions in the existing ones. They all have been finalized. Now it's going to be in the printing stage. They printed and then, of course, distributed all over the world. And then followed by various countries through the administration, then MTIs. So that is how the timetable was till 7th of February. Then 8th February, development of measures to ensure quality of onboard training as part of mandatory seagoing service. Certain countries have put on papers on these. Development of measures to facilitate mandatory seagoing service required in the STCW Convention. This one paper was from India also, which we'll describe later on number 10. And development of training provisions for seafarers related to the Ballast Water Management Convention. Role of human element and reports on unlawful practices associated with certificates of competency. This was discussion on 8th of February. While this discussion was being held in the plenary at this hall, main hall, the working group 1 and working group 2 and drafting group, they all were working in their rooms, which is on the first and second floor of IMO. They're working out various topics which have been given to them. So many people were on their job, but people who are supposed to be in the plenary, they remained here and they continued. On the 9th of February was no plenary session, but people who are supposed to be in working group 1, working group 2, working group 3 and drafting group, they continued their work. They came to IMO and in their various rooms, they had discussions, made progress in their work and finalized various things. So that is how on the last day, February 10, election of the chair and vice chair for the next meeting, STW 10. The person who was the chair in our meeting, he again is elected for the next meeting. Norwegian gentleman. Final status reports of the working and drafting groups, they were asked. They were working earlier. So as I told you, in their rooms, when they completed the job, on the last day, they presented their work, what all they have done. And that was read out to everyone, and then it was passed with any comments if somebody had to make. Biennial status report and provisional agenda for STW 10. It was defined what all is going to be the agenda for STW 10. And reports to the Maritime Safety Committee. Whatever has been decided, that was to be passed down to Maritime Safety Committee, MSC. So this is what all 5 days agenda when we were there. I was telling you that the points which IMO had sent to us, provisional agenda. So these were the provisional agenda, the adoption of the agenda, decisions of other IMO bodies, validated model training courses. These points 6.2, 6.1, these are the various categories made as per IMO. Reports on unlawful practices associated with the certificate of competencies. There were some malpractices and some certificates were caught, all that. implementation of the STCW convention, the main convention, comprehensive review of the 1978 STCW convention and code, that's a revision to STCW, comprehensive review of the 1995 STCW-F, fishing vessels, that's 6.12, development of measures to ensure quality of onboard training as part of the mandatory seagoing service required by the STCW convention. Some countries have put in papers about this. Guidelines for conducting onboard training, mandatory training, which is part of the seagoing service for the first examination. So, how it should be conducted and what should be the structure of the company training officer, ship training officer. Some of them have even suggested their qualifications and things like that. So that is the number 9. Development of measures to facilitate mandatory seagoing service required under the STCW convention. Here is how to complete that training, the pre-sea training, not the pre-sea training, but onboard training for the first examination, like cadets onboard training, engineers onboard training, ETOs onboard training. So in this connection, there was a paper from India also, which you will see later on. Mandatory training slots for the trainees. This was put up by India. We will describe that further. Then biennial status report and provisional agenda for STCW 10. Election of chair and vice chair for 2024. Any other business? Report of the Maritime Safety, report to the Maritime Safety Committee. So this was the agenda given by IMO. They had to work on this. As you can see earlier slide, the various days, these things are reflecting over there also. We come to the IMO model courses. As I was telling you, Captain Vinayak Mohla was of Global Met, was a chairperson for that, and many IMO model courses were finalized. The drafting group was headed by Captain Mohla, sponsored by Global Met. The group finalized 10 IMO model courses, which were approved and sent for printing. These finalized IMO model courses included. As you can see, there are 2 new IMO model courses have been introduced. One is the passenger safety, cargo safety, and hull integrity training. This was something which was not there at all. It's for ro-ro ships. Followed by various casualties of ro-ro vessels. This course has been put in place. The new IMO model course is coming on this for ro-ro vessels, which mainly concerns with the passenger safety, cargo safety, and hull integrity of the ro-ro ships. The engine room resource management, ERM, is something, a new course which has been put in, or operation level engineers, which is not there. As a value addition course, it was being done by the companies, not a mandatory course. But now it's going to be mandatory course. The administration has to approve, and then there will be guidelines, and MTIs have to do these courses as per the guidelines. The third one is the revised IMO model course 1.20, fire prevention, firefighting. There are few changes in the present one. Otherwise, it's a same. Like going for evacuation of a person in the mock-up. The earlier one was that you have to put on, you just put on a lifeline. But now they're talking about a breathing apparatus also along it. Because if there is a high expansion foam already injected in the mock-up, it was found that if you go only with the lifeline to evacuate a person inside, there will be toxic materials inside, and that will be harmful to the person who is going to rescue. Therefore, there is a change in that. Similarly, in advanced firefighting training also, there was correction made in that because they are talking about 6:1 ratio for practical training, which was 8:1 earlier, but it was corrected from 6:1 to 8:1 as was earlier. Some minor changes about mock-up and all, which was corrected. For advanced firefighting also, they were recommending a mock-up which we use for basic firefighting. So that has been replaced to advanced firefighting mock-up. Proficiency in survival craft and rescue boat, Proficiency in survival craft and rescue boat other than fast rescue boat. In this, there is a major change which is taking place. So far in P.Sc RB, we were having lifeboats, rescue boat, all set up on the waterfront with the davits, and there was lowering and washing of boat done. Then the boat was taken around for maneuvering. Maneuver boat was picked up, but now they are putting importance of simulators. They're talking about that, okay, you should have lifeboats and rescue boat installed on a davit. Need not to be on the waterfront. The candidates can be taken and shown how these boats are there, how they are placed. But the maneuvering part and picking up a man overboard can be also done on simulator. So that is something which is not there earlier, but now they are going to come into the IMO model course. That's the option. Either you do that way or you continue with the system which you are doing now. That is maneuvering the boat in the running water system what we are having now. So that is about this 1.23. Proficiency of fast rescue boat also, changes have been made as per that. This number 7 is a bridge resource management, something new. You see, earlier we had IMO model course 1.22. That was ship simulator and bridge steam war. That is what we used to call it SMS, ship maneuvering simulator, based on 1.22. And this is what we were giving to the ASM candidates. That is our master candidates. They used to do ASM 1.5 month course, then written, and then do this SMS, ship maneuvering simulator. So this has gone upside down now. 1.22, they're calling now bridge resource management. And that is the operational level course now. Once again, it was being done by some of the shipping companies to their candidates as a value addition course, bridge resource management. Now it is going to come as a mandatory course from IMO, and which has to be compulsorily done. But here is 1.22, what they're talking about is operational level course. That means second mate candidate, NCD candidate, they must do it. Basically, it is a human element which has been addressed into that. So there is objection there was objection from India about this course. And what we said that this was a management level course which was being given to the master candidates. Therefore, you cannot replace this. If you want to make a BRM course, you put a different IMO model course number. Put some different number. Unfortunately, after explaining so much, our delegation members went to even chair at the front and explained that this is already a senior level course, management level course, and it has got a lot of ship maneuvering and ship handling. But they said it's already done. Done in the last meeting. HTW 8, and there's nothing much is going to change. They're not even ready to change even the number of them. That could have solved the whole thing. We could have had 1.22 as it is, and we could have a new number for bridge resource management. Like in the room, ERM is having in the room resource management, same way bridge resource management. Everything would have been okay, but there was a objection from the chair, and we could not succeed. Same thing is here. There was a detailed discussion on it from Indian delegation. It was accepted that 1.22 in its new authorities and operational level course, focusing on bridge resource management, basically the human element, the communication, dealing with the bridge team, and the ship handling part is not addressed in this. When the new 1.22 will come, it will be called bridge resource management, and there will not be any ship handling part of it. Ship handling. So the ship handling principles and trainings with simulator exercises may need to be included in a new model course. You have to make a new model course for that, so that can be put in HTW 10. The new HTW, which will be coming, a new model course has to be made, which will be on the ship handling and ship maneuvering part. Also, model course 7.01 may be required to revision wherever it is being reference to our model course 1.22. In 7.01, where ship handling maneuvering is given, if there is a reference of 1.22 to be consulted for that has to be changed. So this is something which we tried our best, the Indian delegation, but it was not accepted. Unfortunately, people who were there in the last meeting, they were also present in this delegation also. And somehow it is not worked out, and it is going to be in a different way now. Revised IMO model course 3.25, security and awareness training for all port facility personnel. Small change like cyber security been added up. Revised IMO model course 3.27, security awareness training for all seafarers, and 3.26 on security training for seafarers with designated security duties, that is STS. So cyber security has been added. These are major change into that. And then we have in coming 2 years, these are new courses which are expected. IMO model course 1.32, the revision of that. Operational use of integrated, this is a new course which will be coming up by 2024. Operational use of integrated bridge systems, including integrated navigation systems. IMO model course 1.35, liquefied petroleum gas, tanker, cargo and ballast condition, ballast handling simulator. The LCHS what we have for the oil cargo, now that is for the gas. Company Security Officer 2025 revision of the model course. Port Facility Security Officer by 2025. Actions to be taken to prevent acts of piracy and armed robbery 2025 revision on that. General Operators Certificate GOC 2025. There are many changes in the present IMO model course on GM basis, like direct printing, the telex what we used to have, now not being taught now, that will change there. Then, the urgency part, though it is being taught, is not there in the present GMDS's IMO model course. So these are the new changes which are going to come in coming 2 years. But earlier to this, what we discussed, that those are final. That's been already finalized and gone for printing. So it will come 6 months time. But these ones, further discussion will take place, and the final version will come out in coming 2 years. In STCWF, there are certain papers presented by some countries. One paper said that let's call fishing vessel personnel to fisher, not accepted in the meeting. So it will remain as fishing vessel personnel. Qualification of refrigeration engineers on fishing vessels. Some countries have written that we should have refrigeration engineers on fishing vessels. Again, not accepted. They said that the engineers, the second engineer, MO class 2 people who are there, who will be there as per the STCWF, they are competent enough to look after as a refrigeration engineer. Therefore, there is no need of any additional requirement, additional post as a refrigeration engineers on fishing vessels. A medical examination of fishing vessels to be discussed, and it was agreed what kind of medical examination is to be done for fishing personnel, and what kind of certificate is to be issued. These things which are not there actually in fishing vessels, so that has been defined. Just for information, this rule or the STCWF, whatever they're talking about, that is for fishing vessels more than 24 meters in length and more than 750 kilowatt in power. So that is what is the type of vessel on which STCWF is applicable. India had put in a point that all the vessels which are less than 24 meters in length or less than 750 kilowatt in power, they should be, they can be governed by domestic laws, by their own laws. So that is a presentation India has done. Use of GMDS, revised version of fishing vessel, agreed. Even GMDS requirement will be there. Now we come to comprehensive revision of STCW 2010, the main STCW. It's not finalized yet. The work is in progress. Many things were discussed. Then a correspondence group is made. There are many members in the correspondence group, and they will keep having virtual meetings, online meetings, and they will keep, finalizing the things and keep reporting. And STW 10, they have to present all that. Now, many things have been transferred to that category. That is revision of main STCW. To create a safe working environment for all seafarers on board, and the importance of psychological safety was discussed. Now, this number 2 was presented by many countries and in a big way. That is bullying, sexual assault, and sexual harassment. That is now going to be part of syllabus of PSSR. It was suggested to be a part of all the competency courses also, sexual assault and sexual harassment. But it was not agreed. Finally, what was agreed is that this topic will be put into PSSR syllabus, one-day course added up to that. So the newcomers, those who are doing for the first time, they will be taught about it. They will be familiar with this, but maybe a refresher course formed made out later on, where the existing people with PSSR can do the refresher for one day. So that is about this. It was very prominently discussed. Many papers were there on sexual assault and sexual harassment. SASH, SAS, they call it in short, was widely debated. It was decided to include in PSSR course of about 1 day duration. For existing seafarers, there has to be refresher training for SAS. That will not be decided how and when. But what has been decided is to add a 1 day course in PSSR. Competence table in A614 added with competence and KUPs for SAS. So that the STCW PSSR table will be changed, where SAS will also be included. India communicated that there is already a course introduced in India for all pre-C and post-C courses titled as Gender Sensitization Training for candidates undergoing pre-C and post-C competency courses. There are two things were there. One is that this sexual harassment course, which is being imparted to pre-C level candidates right now. That was earlier, 2-3 years back. The DG Shipping had put in a circular, and now the other one is gender sensitization training for candidates undergoing pre-C and post-C competency courses. This is also on, and we have to do it as per DG Shipping syllabus and timetable with that given. So India said that these things what we are talking about now is already on in India. That was the piece of information which was given to IMO about this. The working groups, working group 3, implementation of STCW convention was widely discussed. The guiding aims and principles which are to be followed for the comprehensive review of STCW convention was left to the discussion and worked by working group 3. Correspondence group was formed for virtual meetings to suggest future roadmap and report to STCW 10 to be held from 5th of February 2010 to 9th of February 5th February 2024 to 9th of February 2024. So this, is the working groups which they're working on it. Now, continuing that, what are changes we have suggested? One is obsolete items to be removed, like celestial navigation. Even India has given an umbrella paper where it is suggested to remove some of the obsolete topics and subjects which we are teaching in the competency courses. Celestial navigation, Morse code, International Code of Signals, distress signals, the methods of making distress signals, some of them are not actually being used. Use of narrowband direct printing in GMDSS, that's your telex, but it's not being used now. New items to be added up, which I have already explained. These are the new things which have already been covered into the modular IMO model courses, which I already explained. The working group 2, which was working on it, STCW 2010 revisions, to address the knowledge, understanding, and proficiency in seafarers, education, training, and certification, take into account new technologies and performance standards for incorporation in the convention, such as integrated bridge systems, engine training to include electronic engines, low flashpoint fuel engines, dual fuel engines, that IGF code and all that, energy efficiency and optimization, waste heat recovery system, scrubber systems, use of big data, performance monitoring systems, SCADA and remote control systems, use of virtual reality and augmented reality and 3D visualization and cyber security, etc. So these are to be added and these are the ones to be deleted. So these are all have been suggested, not finalized yet. Most of the items of STCW revision have been transferred to the correspondence group. So they are working on it and they will be giving the result, final result, which will be again discussed in the next STW 10 meeting. India put up a paper broadly covering the new technologies that need to be added in comprehensive review of the STCW. This was accepted and passed to the correspondence group and working group to work out. Parties also suggested to add ballast water management training in the STCW comprehensive review. Summary of umbrella STCW revisions, which was given from India. To deliberate and address obsolete competencies, I have already named a few. To take into account and include new technology, which again I just discussed in the earlier slide. To review Chapter 3 for modification of the functions and make a separate function of quality, health, safety, environment, QHSE. This is something which was actually suggested by India to make another function. Right now we got navigation function, cargo operation, ship operation. So it has been suggested to make one more function, that is QHSE function for all the grades. That is for the functions to make a that is quality, health, safety, environment to put together and remove from the other functions and put in this one. Like safety is being done now also in your part 3, that is your ship operation function. Environmental protection and all also being done there. So all that to be taken off and put in new function. To review and optimize shipboard training in view of high fidelity simulators, giving more emphasis on simulator based training. This is something new and which is agreed also to large extent. The simulators, the bridge simulators, as well as engine room simulators, full mission simulators, if certain training programs are put in that, which is matching with the onboard ship operations, part of the sea time can be counted on that. Partial exemption of sea time. So far it was not there. What is onboard training? If you are required 18 months after your pre-C DNS course, that was 18 months. Of course, for tankers and all, it's 15 months. But there is no provision of giving any weightage for simulator training, which candidate may go, not the one which is going on, not those simulator trainings. It is specially made on full mission engine room simulators and bridge simulators. So that is something which is going to come up. How much that they will decide. How much training you will do on the simulator and how much equivalent of that you will get remission in sea. And the maritime autonomous surface ship, mass ships, you are aware of it. For autonomous level 1, training could be integrated in Chapter 2. This is again India's recommendation, presentation. For level 1, which will be describing in the next chapter, what are these levels? So level 1 could be done in Chapter 2 and 3, chapter 2 on the deck side, chapter 3 for engineers. And training requirements for level 2, 3 and 4 could be placed in separate chapter of STCW. So mass is something which is going to come in future in big way. So how to accommodate that? How the training is to be started towards that direction? That is what we are talking about. Degrees of autonomy of mass. Degree 1, level 1, where seafarers are on board to operate and control seaboard systems and functions. Some operations may be automated and at times be unsupervised, but with seafarers on board ready to take control. One such example can be unmanned ship, unmanned engineering. Rest all is going on as it is. All the crew on board, but only a part of the operation is automated. So how that becomes level 1 or degree 1. Degree 2 is all gradual in stages. The level 2 will be remotely controlled ship with seafarers on board. The control is remote, but the seafarers are on board. The ship is controlled and operated from another location. Seafarers are available on board to take control and to operate the shipboard systems and functions. Anytime when required, the ship's crew can take over, but controlled from different locations. Level 3 is remotely controlled ship without seafarers on board. The ship is controlled and operated from another location. There are no seafarers on board. And the remote control from ashore, they are taking all the decisions about the ship, including taking actions in case of ROR, taking action in case of bad weather, ordering courses, deciding and taking action with no crew on board. And the last one is the system of the ship is able to make decisions and determine actions by itself. Means the ship itself, the control systems provided on the ship can take decisions itself, not connected with the shore. That's all autonomous ship itself. So these are the 4 stages. It has to go gradual, but as you are aware that the level 4 is all being tried up at various locations. Some of the ships have crossed the Atlantic Ocean with half the wires, the full crew on board, half the wires, normal wires, as the operation is going on now, and half the wires is autonomous, fully automated, and it's coming from ashore, all the control. And to compare how the performance of the 2 voyages will be. So these are 4 levels of it. So that's what we told in the previous slide, how it is to be taken care of. Level 1 can be added to chapter 2 and 3, but rest of it has to be a separate chapter provided for mass MMTI. This is there is a transition task force in UK, and the gentleman who represented them was also an Indian. They had a presentation also during the lunch, which is not official, but presentation means we can see that and we can understand and learn the things from there, not discussed. Basically, it means that when we are changing to MASS mass, the interests of the ship's crew have to be taken into account. they have to be, they should not be inconvenienced. Like, you suddenly change to level 4, you don't need any crew on board. Number 3, they will also not. What will happen to the crew? What they're going to do? So how the transition has to take place, how the adjustment of them has to be done, that is what is there, calling it mapping a maritime just transition. Transition which is justified for seafarers. So this is again connected with the mass. Electronic certificates and developments, again a part of STCW revision. The certification process, the certificates held by the crew members on board, how they have to maintain, how the forms which are going to be filled up on arrival and departure, how the coding and all has to take place. But now it's all uniform, it's a formal convention, the changes made on that, and all these forms and all have to have a code of all the ranks on the ship. So India also suggested that there are some ranks which are not covered into that. So it has been suggested that those ratings, those names also should be showing up there, and new code to be given to that. Now, development of measures of facilitate mandatory seagoing service required in the STCW Convention. It was widely discussed in the plenary and agreed upon as follows. The first one I told you already, that full mission bridge and engine room simulator can be used ashore to provide training, matching with shipboard operations, and giving partial remission in sea time. So this is going to come. Number 2 is a paper presented by India. This part was presented by India in a paper where India said that there should be mandatory training slot on all the ships enforced by IMO. That's what the purpose was. That means all the shipping around the world, they must have training slots to train the deck cadets, engine cadets, ETUs. Somehow it was rejected. Most of the countries, rather 95% of the countries, they were against it. And they said it's not a training matter, it's a manning matter. Some people said that safe mining is the one we have to follow, and these trainees are not a part of safe mining. So it was rejected. Only Panama was in our favor. Rest all countries said no. So that is number 2, which we're talking about. So this is not accepted. So the same thing I was telling, that provision of mandatory sea service provided in STCW. Safe mining document does not provide any provision for mandatory seagoing service. Partial exemption is seagoing service when training is trained on full mission simulator. India also had put on these points. So some points are accepted and passed down for implementation, but some of them were not accepted. This is what the proposal from India was regarding the mandatory sea service, where the deck officers, the cadets, as per STCW is 12 months, we have 18 months, but STCW is talking about 12 months. There should be 2 training slots for the deck cadets, and 6 months requirement for engineer officers, GME and all that, and ETOs 6 months. So either they can have, one engineer and 6 months, and another ETO for 6 months, or one engineer and then another engineer for 6 months. So any time on board there will be 3 trainees. And annual output will be 2 deck officers, 2 deck cadets will be trained, and 2 engineer officers will be trained. Of course, there is no point in discussing because it's fallen flat. But I'm just giving you a brief this thing, what was presented from India. Observations, once again in personal capacity. What I felt that these papers have to be made, to be discussed in the meetings, wherever it is to be held in definitely in DG shipping. It should be done as early as possible. Like STW 10 is going to come in February 2024. So what all is to be presented, papers to be made by different organizations in India, meetings to be held, discussed, and new papers to be sent. So that is what is my observation. That should be done as early as possible. The second one is that the lobbying is very important. We could see that there are a lot of lobbying going on. Mostly the Western countries, they were together. Something on some paper or some topic, if one of the countries in the Western world, they said it is correct, all of them one by one, they said it's correct. If anything regarding any country which they're not happy with, negative. And what I feel that if some paper is to be put from our country, it has to be lobbied. There should be lobby work. Before we put in the paper, we should discuss with other countries, which we feel that they will be interested in this kind of paper, in this kind of implementation. And they should be taken to conference. And if that is followed, then it has got a lot of chances of sailing through, of getting accepted. So that is what I could make out. And for the future, that is can be taken into account. The road ahead, wide discussion to be held on outdated competencies of STCW which are to be removed, and identify and suggest new competencies in line with the new technologies and regulatory developments which are already being given, but it's not late. Further identification can be put, what all to remove, what all to add, more papers can be presented, which can be taken up in the next HTW meeting. There are some photographs which were taken in the IMO. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Captain Dubey, for this excellent presentation. I must say that you really brought out the updates to our membership. Before I go through the chat, I would request our master, Captain B.K. Jha, to say a few words. Jha, sir, can you come in, sir? Captain Jha, sir, you're muted.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Before we start, we must say big thanks to the Captain Dubey. He has given us a lot of information and a lot of things to work on it. And we have many senior people Captain Barve is there. It must be a familiar scene for him when the Captain Dubey was trying to say about the lobbying. Captain Dubey, you led the CMMI in this project and gave a suitable information. I must thank you once again. In fact, this has to be informed all mastermen, all the deck officers, as soon as possible to prepare themselves. 2025 is not very far. So many changes will come. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. All Captain Subedar sir has also come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Captain Jasa. With the permission of Captain Dubey, I would like to read a few of the put in the chat. Captain Dubey, I have a permission?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. So we have a comment from Captain Panda. It seems every HTW meeting tries to bring a new course. Now the emphasis on human resources, forcing all, including engineering officers, to have bridge/engine resource management for all officers. Hope the IMO administration gives some time for seafarers as well as MTIs. That's the comment that has come from Captain Panda. Now we have Captain Arvind from ICS. He does make a comment on the refresher of SASH training was not agreed at the HTW 9. Only training for new seafarers on SASH via PSSR was approved, subject to approval by ILO. For existing seafarers, SASH training is still under discussion. Competencies to be removed or added has not yet been decided. Now we have some other comments also. A very excellent presentation by Captain Dubey. Congratulations. What roadmap for new SCCW is expected in May NSC 107? Now, Captain Dubey, can you answer that for me?
Yeah. As I told that about the PSSR part, I told that it's not a part of going to be part of competency courses. It's only going to be for the PSSR course for the beginners. And now this second about SW in what is exactly the question?
The question is, I'll just read again. What roadmap for new SCCW is expected in May NSC 107?
Yes, whatever was discussed in the STW 9, that is going to be passed on to MSc. And also the correspondence group on SCCW revision, competency revision, which is given to them, the correspondence group, they will also present their papers and which will be given to the MSc. But that will not be final. Basically, MSc will have same thing which has been finalized by STW9 in the last meeting.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And I think Captain Arvind goes about ahead to say that ICS and European Commission are working to prepare a roadmap that will be presented at MSc 107. Well, we have a few congratulations to Captain C.L. Dubey. Excellent detailed information. Very comprehensive and informative presentation. Sir, I thank you, Captain Dubey, sir. If I'll leave the session open for 5 minutes for any questions before we, can closed down.
Yeah, good evening, Captain Shashi Kumar. Can I just come in?
Yes, sir. Please come in, sir.
Yeah, I have first and foremost, I congratulate Captain Dubey and CMMI for having resumed being actively participating in the IMO
Thank you, sir.
deliberations. Yeah, and I have one request. I see that Captain Subedar has been very active with and also very involved with comprehensive review of the SW, which is going to come, I believe, in 2027 with the 4-yearly cycle starting now. And now, what I would like to say is that maybe the CMMI can form a small team with Captain Subedar, because now we are already finished the 6-page submission for MSc. For the rest of the small bulky papers, something we should put up for the MSc starting on 31st of May up to the June 9th. So with the help of the DG, I think CMMI should push at least one Indian paper, because as of today, there is no paper submitted by India. So I think this is a good time if Captain Subedar can be taken in for a small STC or HTW review committee and put up some paper, so we can at least from India's side, maybe we can take the assistance of Global Met or whoever, because all these are Indian bodies. But I think it is a good thing to do if it is possible for CMMI. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Captain Philip. We have noted your point. I've seen Captain Panda's hand is also raised. Can I invite Panda to speak? Come in, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Captain Shashi Kumar. Excellent presentation from Captain Dubey. I must congratulate him, and I'm very happy that the process that we started with Captain Matthew as the first CMMI representative way back in 2015 has continued, and I'm happy at the active participation. I just have a few observations in the sense or clarification. As I see that this session has brought in 3 courses. One is bridge resource management for all level of officers on the engineering side and on the nautical side. Does it mean that now the second mate and the masters will have to do this course? So that's why I said, because that's going to put on a very, very heavy load on not only MTIs, but also if it is not mandatory today, it's going to become mandatory as it appears. So that is one load that is going to come. And another new course that is going to come is that 3.23 on piracy and armed robbery. Though hopefully that piracy and armed robbery is decreasing and would have decreased, but nevertheless, it seems that this course is also going to become mandatory for all. So what we are seeing that 3 courses are on the horizon, which is going to become mandatory. So therefore, the MTIs must seek clarification and may have to gear up. Maybe Captain Dubey can throw some light on this, please.
Yeah, this engine resource management and the bridge resource management, these are operational level courses.
Okay.
And they will only done at operational level, that is second mate level and MO class 4, that level. So that is left to that. Whatever is going on the management level, that will continue the way it is going on. But as I said, that ship maneuvering and ship handling part has to be taken care, because there are a lot of ship maneuvering and ship handling which we are doing at the ASM level, and also at the phase 2 level, it is in STCW. So that also being taken care. So therefore, we have to improvise to make another course for ship handling and ship maneuvering, to complete with that with the STCW.
Thank you, Dubey, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to everyone. I'm sure it was a rather lengthy and a wonderful presentation. If there is no other question, then I will quickly get on to the thanking. Captain Philip Matthew, you have something to say? I think you got something to say.
Yeah, I am extremely happy, Captain Jashiko. I organized it very well. I am so pleased to see Captain Panda, the ex-nautical advisor there.
Excellent, sir.
And the master also. Captain Panda is such a pool of talent. I think we should tap his expertise also, and for the going ahead for the IMO things, because we are in a crucial stage at IMO at this moment with a new Secretary General coming shortly. And I think that there is nobody better than Captain Panda who can drive it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Philip. Thank you, Panda, sir. I will take the permission of the master. If I, sorry, sir. Captain Dubey, sir, please come in.
Captain MC Yadav would like to say a few words.
Please, sir, please, you're welcome.
Okay.
You may come forward.
All right. It's fine, no? Okay, Captain Shashi Kumar, please go ahead.
You said that Captain Yadav would like to speak. You can come up to the... No. Captain Yadav would like to speak, sir?
No.
Okay. Thank you so much. And do I have the permission of Master? I will quickly go to the vote of thanks. I think permission, sir. Can I go ahead, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Master. Captain B.K. Jha, respected wardens, senior CMMI members, member of the shipping fraternity, and all the participants. I would like to thank CL Dubey, who was kind enough to give us an excellent presentation today on IMO HTW Committee Update. Thank you, sir. I would especially like to thank Dubey for allowing CMMI to conduct the monthly lecture at MMTI, and also, of course, provide the refreshments to those people who are offline. I would like to extend a big thanks and support to the master and office bearers. I would like to thank all the media, Marex, Seajob, Bhandarkar Shipping, Sailor Today, Saga Sandesh, and Maritime. A special thanks again to Captain Nangya, who always been giving us the YouTube Sailor Today. Not to forget Mr. Sudhir Palkar for the backend support, office bearers. But not the least, we thank each and every participant who was there today, who took time to see the presentation given by Captain CL Dubey. Once again, thank CL Dubey for the excellent presentation. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. So we will, people online will just leave the screen, and we will allow you to enjoy the refreshment provided by Captain CL Dubey. Thank you, sir.
Wait, sir, wait. We have to
yes.
put the momento to Captain. Hello. Hello. You go ahead. No, sir. Wait. Take it, sir. Please. Hello. No, please call now. Please request Captain Nafre to come.
Can I request Captain Nafde to hand over a small gift to Captain CL Dubey, please?
Yes, sir.
The courtesy that we always do for our lecture meetings.
Okay.
I hope it is not empty.
Can everybody give a big hand for the... Thank you very much, sir. Thank Captain Nabde for...
The refreshment is served in the adjacent room.
Yes, sir. And that's not for us, of course. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So thank you all. And we will end the session. Thank you all for good evening. Bye-bye.